No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
Good morning. Welcome to the Brand Momentum Morning Show, everyone. Thank you for being here. I am your host, Faith James, and we are going to be talking all things momentum. So we continue our reading from the book, High Performance Habits, Brendon Burchard. Thank you all for being here. Good morning, beautiful Amber. Thank you for joining, as always. We are just days into February, and I want to make sure that we're going to be utilizing the time to really build in some strong momentum. So we talked yesterday about habits, and the idea we spoke about was like clarity and then really getting clear on some of those questions. So I'm hoping that everybody had a chance to do some of that work. Good morning, Arva's beautiful. Thank you for joining. So I'm hoping everybody had a chance to really dig into some of those questions, because if you're not able to answer some of those key questions, that's why you're feeling sort of stuck or not in momentum. So we're still in Seek Clarity, and we're going now on to practice 3. So do me a favor, share this video. We want to get as many people on in momentum as we can. We have to be the light that pierces through the darkness, and it's a great way to start your morning off with some inspiration, with some ideas, some tactics that you can use straight away. So let's share the love, if you would be so kind. All right, so practice 3 says, define what's meaningful. So this is a quote that he starts off this section with. Unhappiness is not knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it. Don Harold. Unhappiness, right? This is his definition of what does unhappiness mean. Unhappiness is not knowing what we want, yet, right? We're killing ourselves to get it. Like, how amazing is that? Good morning, Melody. Yes, thank you. Wow. We don't know what we want, but yet we're killing ourselves to get it. Like, that just sounds like such an effort in futility. Think about that. So the happiness that we seek is predicated upon us knowing what it is that we seek. It's like yesterday when I said, you go to a restaurant, you just say, oh, bring me something from the kitchen. You don't know what you want. And then when it comes, you're like, oh, that's not it. And then you're frustrated. Like, bring me something else. And so the lack of clarity of what it is that we are seeking is such a challenge. So he opens up with, high performers can do almost anything they set their heart and mind to, but not every mountain is worth the climb. What differentiates high performers from others is their critical eye in figuring out what is going to be meaningful to their life experience. They spend more of their time doing things that they find meaningful, and this makes them happy. It is not want of strength that locks us into unlived lives. Rather, it is the lack of a decisive cause, something worth striving for, an ambitious purpose that sets our hearts ablaze and our feet marching forward. Our striving for a meaningful life is one of the main factors associated with psychological well-being. But what do we mean by this? Meaning. When most people talk about having meaning at work, they typically discuss enjoyment of the task, alignment of personal values with the work, and fulfillment from the outcomes of the work. When researchers try to identify what is meaningful to people, they often focus on how important you say an activity is to you, how much time you spend at it, how committed are you, how attached to it are you, whether you would do the work despite low compensation. They try to figure out whether you see the work as just a job or an important career or calling. They often associate a clear sense of purpose with an overall sense of meaning in life. Wow. So this is that question that I asked, I think on my LinkedIn page. Are you in love? Are you in love with what you do, or are you trying your level best to love it? Wow. Are you doing things that are meaningful, or are you just doing things for the doing of the things? Because if you're unhappy, if you're feeling unfulfilled, this is where we want to investigate in our life. So it's not about the money. Sometimes we get confused and we think, oh, if I just had more money, I'd be happy, right? And you know that that's a fallacy. You know that that's not a truth. How do you get meaning in your life? You get meaning in your life when you're doing the thing that you were called to do. I love when he said, we can do almost anything we want to do, but not every mountain is worth the climb. I say to my clients, not because you can do something means you should. And if this isn't sinking in for you this morning, I want to help you ensure that it sinks in. You have to be in love with what you're doing. You have to have a higher purpose attached to what you're doing. So if you're in a job right now and you know it's not your love, it's not your calling, and you have an exit strategy, then that's good. Because we also have to be pragmatic, right? When I was in corporate for, those many years, I knew my calling, my higher calling, was to use my gifts of encouragement. And at the time, I didn't even know what that was going to be, but I just knew the satisfaction, the meaning wasn't there. I wasn't waking up every morning going, oh, I can't wait to write another research proposal. That wasn't it. But it was a means to an end. It was a means to provide for myself and for my family, right? Take care of my household. So that's okay. I don't want anybody to hear me say, oh, feel badly for yourself if you have a job that you don't like. And we know the statistics that says 70% of US workers hate their job. So we know that's a fact, but we have to have a plan. This is where we are. It doesn't define us. This is just where we are right now. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. We're walking through. You are walking through. You are not setting up shop. You are not camping, setting up your base camp. You're not building your forever home in the valley of the shadow of death. Yea, though I walk through. Yea, though I walk through. So be okay. Know that this is not your permanent residence. You're walking through. And your plan as you're walking through is what's the exit strategy? How do I get on the exit off of this place that I am right now and get on the on-ramp for where it is that I really want to be, where I know I'm going to feel meaning in life, where I'm going to feel fulfilled and satisfied. Unhappiness, not knowing where we want to go, but yet we're killing ourselves to get there. If you have a job that you know right in the soul of your heart is not the fulfillment, is not the calling, is not the mission, do you have an exit strategy? I mean, is he crazy or what? Thank you, honey. Oh my gosh. Good morning, Bonito. Do you have an exit strategy? Because we're not going to be disappointed or beat ourselves up because we find ourselves in this place, in this valley of the shadow of death. It's okay. Know you're walking through it. Do you have the plan for how you get out? What is it going to take? And this is what I want you to do this morning. Again, in your journal, this is why we say in the show open, grab your journal, because there's always going to be work, right? This is not just these morning shows are not just a kiki session. I want these to be inspirational and I want these to be instructional. And I want you to be able to take action after you leave. So on your sheet of paper, at the top, what is it going to take for me to exit this place that I am? Whether it's a career that, it's just not fulfilling you. I mean, it just is what it is. We just have to stand in the truth. We know when we have joy. And so what is it going to take? So only you can answer that question, right? Because only you know your household budget and the things that you have planned and what you want to do. And if you want to take vacation with the family at least once per year, right? So you have to, what is it going to take? How much money do I need to run my life in the way that it needs to be run, the way that my family and I have decided we want to live? So if, for example, right, we have a commitment, we want to take a vacation once per year. It doesn't have to be to Guadalupe. It doesn't have to be to Bora Bora, right? It could be to Savannah. It could be to Key West. I don't care where it is. But you and your family have come to this agreement that, we're here for the living. And so even though nevertheless, we're still going to take some time just to be connected together and enjoy God's nature. Yes, ma'am. No kiki. We're about the work. So on that sheet of paper, what is it going to take? So then you would start to look at, okay, what does it cost me to run my house? So your mortgage, your rent, your car, your food bill, your cell phone. You've got to get into the numbers. And I believe it's March 3rd. I'm actually having Diana Moret, who is the CEO and founder of the Business Profit Coach, AKA the Numbers Whisperer. And she does a spectacular job of helping women get to know their numbers. And she has tools to help you understand that. So because you have to know what your life costs you right now. And if you don't have a budget, an Excel spreadsheet, a numbers chart, something that has it on paper, let me encourage you to do that. And Diana has, tools to help you with that. But know that that's something that you need, because you have to know, what is it going to take to run this life? Sometimes we're just paying bills and money comes in and money goes out, but we're not really focusing on, Are we up or down, or where are we? So you need to know that. Then I listened to Dave Ramsey, Dave Ramsey, financial, he's not a financial analyst, but he's like a money manager, if you will. He helps you with getting out of debt. And he has this strategy called the snowball debt removal. One of the things that he says in there is you want to live like no other right now, so later you can live like no other. And what he means is, if you need to get on an austerity plan in order to help you do that, then that's what's required. So one of the things he says is, if you have to eat rice and beans and rice for a time to get there, to get your money under control, then that's what you're going to do. He said, sell so much stuff. Like if you go through your garage, you go to your closet, there's so much stuff that's sitting in there that's blocking your energy and you're not using it. And it's just, gathering moss. He says, sell it. Sell so much stuff that the kids think they're next. Like you're just on the tear. The Marie Kondo philosophy, you look at everything, does this bring me joy? Does this bring me joy? If we use that for every area of our life, we would be in such flow, because the things that are blocking us, the things that you look at it and it's just like, it's okay. My mom and I, we have this saying, we like to say, give somebody else a chance. Give somebody else a chance. So you have 10 pairs of jeans in the same brand, just different patterns, different whatever. And you're not wearing half of them. Go donate it. Give somebody else a chance. Give somebody else a chance to wear some 7 jeans. That is magical. If you could have seen my closet situation before, when I was in Minneapolis, compared to where it is now. And I had to do that work for myself, because you say, oh, this is so cute, but I'm going to wear it. Give somebody else a chance. You have 10 different mixing bowls, 10 different salad bowls. Are you having a dinner party every night? Are you a caterer? Donate a few, give somebody else a chance. So if you have to do that to free up funds right now, remember we're on the exit strategy. So because we're making a big shift and a big move, we're going to have to take sacrifices. I'm not saying, live, the most meager lifestyle that you can. That's not abundance. That's not flow. God called us to live this life. He said, I came so you could live this life and live it more abundantly. Can I get an amen on that? I came so you can live this life and live it more abundantly. But in the meantime, while we're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, we're going to have to put some strategies in place so we can get ourselves sorted out. So you want to get a list of what it costs you now to run your household. So for example, if on there you have, and I've done this plenty of times, where you look at your numbers and your mani-pedi is running you $100 every 2 weeks, let's just say. Is there an opportunity for you to say, you know what? I'm going to get resourceful and I'm going to do my nails myself. Or you know what? I'm going to give the color and the, what do you call those things? Like the extensions and the whatever. Give that a minute and just go natural. Is that something that you could do to free up that $200? Because the more that you can free up dollars, the more that you can free up what it costs to run your life, the sooner you can make that exit strategy. Because if you're trying to keep the same lifestyle, that means the meaningful life that you're trying to go get to, you have to make sure that you have things in place that the minute you pull the plug on that job, you have that income coming in that's going to be able to maintain the lifestyle that you currently have. And oftentimes when you're just starting out, that's not going to be the case, right? So we just have to be pragmatic and real. We're not saying we're going to eat beans and rice and beans for the rest of our lives, but can we eat it for a season? Can we make some sacrifices? You know, in Jamaica, we have a saying, sometimes if you want good, your nose have to run. that's just another way of saying sometimes you got to make a sacrifice to get what we want. This is what Dave Ramsey was talking about. Live like no other right now. No other means a lot of people are not going to say, oh yeah, honey, let's just do rice and beans and rice. But you living like no other right now so that later you can live like no other. Because then when your money is right and your money is no longer funny, and you can say, oh yeah, we have a house manager and we have a chef that cooks for us every single day, healthy, organic, farm to table experiences. Now you're living like no other, because in this season you live like no other, because only you and your crew were eating rice and beans and rice every day. Let me know if this is landing with you, because we have to take steps to get to where we're trying to get to. It's not going to happen just by magic or just by osmosis. So what is your life costing you right now? If you already know you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death and you're like, I'm not trying to be here. So you have to have a starting point. Okay, right now my life costs me, let's make it up, $5,000 every month to pay for the mortgage, to do this, to do everything. It's 5,000. Then I want you to examine that list. Are there things on here that we can agree as a family we're going to take off? So is it the twice per week nail extension things that's running you $100? That's $200 a month that you've just freed up, that you can now put in, right, in a savings that you can like start to help you to pay off your debt. So that's a whole, if you're not familiar with his debt reduction, snowball debt reduction strategy, go take a look at that. But the bigger issue is, if where you are right now, it's not bringing you joy, there is no meaning, you have no meaning in life, you're just sort of meandering, you're just loitering the place because you really have no direction. You're just seeing what's going to happen today. What's the world going to bring today? I don't know. You have no direction, right? You're out to sea with no rudder, out to sea with no sail, just directionless, just bobbing along. That's why we have unhappiness, because he just says, once you have purpose and once you have meaning, Melody says, I feel like this is for me, the strategy to not be a corporate refugee. Yes. And you know my truth, right? You know I was there, and everything that I'm telling you is what I had to do. But I want to tell you a story too. Good morning, Patrick. I want to tell you a story too, that as I was working on this exit strategy, and because listen, God knows us, right? He knows every single hair on our head. He knew us before we were even born. So he knew I would be dilly-dallying or coming up with reasons why and not getting to it, because truth be told, the money was good. The money was awesome. I mean, I listen, Kate Spade and Tory Burch and Louis Vuitton and all of those people, like, we hang in a crew. I am like, ooh, new color, must have, right? I'm just telling you my truth. And it was hard for me to get to that live like no other. So later you can live like no other, eat beans and rice and beans, because I'm like, oh, but these are so cute. Well, you need, I justified everything. And so God, in his infinite wisdom, knew that was part of my character trait. So as I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get the strategy together. I'm going to figure out what my life is costing me. And then I'm going to figure out on another spreadsheet what I need to have saved up before I can say, here's my resignation. He knew that spreadsheet wasn't going to be done. It wasn't, right? Because there's too much Kate Spade to buy. There's too much Tory Burch to oogle after. So what did he do? He had my boss at the time ring me up and say, we need to have a chat. And he proceeded to tell me he needed me to move to the headquarter in another state. Meanwhile, now I'm just now in Florida, like enjoying sunshine, because prior to that, I was in New York, and prior to that, right, I was in Minnesota. I'm sorry, what did you say? Because I've been a corporate employee, W-2 salary, but I worked from home. I mean, I had like, it was like the best gig. I'm sorry, you need me to do what now? Did you say move to New Hampshire? Oh. So right then and there in that moment, the decision was made for me, because God knew if he didn't fling me off, I would still be spinning around talking about, oh, but my spreadsheet, I'm working on the spreadsheet. I need a couple more weeks to really analyze. He was like, I got a trick for you, Faith. Watch this. Yeah, we need you to move to New Hampshire. So decision made, because I knew I was not moving, for sure not. So there I was. Conversation ended. I literally was like, where is the brown paper bag? Because I think I'm about to hyperventilate in this moment. Because I was like, holy Hannah, like literally 66%, if not more, of my money just walked out the door with that phone call. And you know how, Kevin's Hart favorite line when he does his comedy routine, wait, she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. Oh my gosh. That's why I was like, I'm like, where's the paperback? I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. But God knew best. And guess what? I didn't die. I survived. I made decisions. I unsubscribed from all the Kate Spade, all the Tory Burch, like everything. Cause I'm like, I can't see it. Cause listen, I'm standing in my truth. I know my weakness. I love like fun fashion things, as you can tell. So I unsubscribed from everything, and I just got austerity plan. And I would like, whatever I need to sell, I need to sell. That's it. Done and done. But I knew it was only for a season. Right? It was only for a season to help me while I'm making that transition. Because here's what I want to tell you. You know, in the Bible, it says you can't serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. So while you're in your job, you have to move with the spirit of excellence, right? You know, as we like to say, we've got to go do the people them work. You got to do the people them work. But you also have to do your work, right? So it's like, you're kind of two minds. Mommy, oh my gosh. Hey everyone, this is my mama. Isn't she fab? She says, yes, I remember those bags. My Kate Spade bag that you gave me is now on it. Oh no, Mom, collecting dust. I know, right? Because we have no place to go right now. But you can just put it on and walk around the neighborhood, Mother. So you have to know that you can't serve two masters, and that at some point, you know, like if you're swimming and you're learning to swim and you're in the deep and you're holding on to the ledge, at some point, you're going to have to let go. At some point, you're going to have to let go. And I don't care if you're just doggy paddling to get to the other side, because that's what it's going to end up being, right? Until you can get in your flow where you can just freestyle and you can just backstroke and you can side stroke like my mom can just side stroke, and you can float. She's a great floater. Me, not so much. Right? And then you're relaxed. But in the meantime, you have to jump. And this is why I keep saying you must jump, and you build your angel wings on the way down. Where did I even find this now? There was a scripture that I was reading this morning, and it was a story of Jonathan, who was Saul's son, and they were like in war with the Philistines, and he said, let's go in. Like, I think the Philistines were sleeping. He's like, let's go in and see what's going on over there. And the army officer was like, do whatever you think is right. So just the two of them climbing into the Philistines camp. But before he did that, because the entire Israelite army had no idea he left. And he said to the officer, God can give us the victory if we have thousands or we have few. Wow. I like highlighted that. I'm like, this for sure is going to be included in my book, which in case if you guys don't know, I'm writing a book called God is My Brand Strategist, because it's really all about how I show up and move through this earth. People are like, how are you doing all these things that you're doing? And my answer always is, me and God are a majority. And God is my brand strategist. He's the one that is moving, building this brand. Because if I were to stop and look with my natural eyes, I would think it's an impossibility. There's just no way where it's just you. But yet, but God. So imagine that level of faith. God can, not might. The certainty that Jonathan said, God can give us the victory, whether we have thousands or we have few. He was like, we're going into the Philistine camp, just the two of them. So you have to know that God can give you the victory. Like with me, whether you have your exit strategy planned, mapped out, ready to execute, whether you have that money saved up or not, but you have to be like Jonathan and say, go, and you have to declare, God is going to give me the victory, whether I have the $100,000 saved up in the bank or not. He's God. Good morning, Marian. Thank you for joining. Oh, Melody, thank you. Mom, do you see that? She's like, your daughter is an angel of light. I love that. Oh my gosh, Aaron Reed. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining. Wow. Yes, this it's such an anointing on my life, because there are so many things in life that you have to realize that you just have to jump. You just have to have the faith. And that's what I'm all about. Aaron, you blessed me by showing up here this morning. And it's how funny is it that we're talking about, our situation. Aaron is actually my boss at the time. This is the story I'm telling you about. Like, look at God. God is so good. Yeah. So when Aaron was like, oh, we need you to move to New Hampshire. And I was like, yeah, no, we just moved to Florida. We can't do that. And so that decision was made for me, but God had me, right? So if you are in that situation right now, so again, going back to Brendon Burchard, he says, unhappiness is not knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it. You must know what you want. You must know what you need. You must know what's in your truth. Like I knew, right? Like when I had that conversation with Aaron, I knew. Oh, Aaron, oh my God, don't make me cry. Thank you. Right? I knew that was not going to be my permanence. Like I just couldn't visually see myself moving, living. And we had some of the best work, honestly, Aaron, right? Some of the best work that we've done together. Like the Mary Kay Globals, oh my gosh, I'm thinking even back to like the Nestle, the Pepsi, the Microsoft. I've been so blessed to have been able to work under your tutelage, and Aaron's an amazing, amazing mind and a PhD. So I am blessed to be able to even say the word Schadenfreude. Do you remember? To even have said it and to even know what it means, if it wasn't for Aaron and those sentient emotions, I would not have even known that. So thank you for everything. Thank you for the guidance and the direction that has brought me to this place, because every moment, every opportunity, every experience that I've had has brought me to this place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So he says, unhappiness is not knowing what we want and killing ourselves to get it. So you have to know what you want. And the only way you can really get to know what you want is, again, using, whether it's the Marie Kondo, does this bring me joy? And you can't worry about what the people in the street are saying, and you can't worry about what you should, I should be. And my favorite line is, stop shitting all over yourself. What are you called to do? We can do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean we should do it. You want to get into alignment. You want to get into the anointing. You want to get into the divine appointment that God himself has had for you since the beginning of time, and find that and get in that. And then that's where meaning and passion and purpose comes in. That's when you wake up and you know that you're making an impact in life. You're not just in that 70% of US workers who hate their job. You're not just waiting to see what the day is going to bring. You are at the front, leading from the front, making an impact, doing things that are bringing the light into the world. When you think about some people, you're like, oh my gosh, they don't have tons of money, or they don't live, like that joie de vivre, but they have so much meaningful work that is fueling their soul. They're at the highest part of the vibrational scale, right? Up at enlightenment, which is where we all want to strive to. But love and joy and peace and gratitude are at the highest heights of the vibrational scale. And that's where you want to go. If you're at a low vibration, you're just like, oh, I hate my job. And then nothing good comes of it, because that hate and that energy you bring home to your family. And now you're like transferring low frequency, low vibration stuff into your house. It's just a bad cycle. So let's get to meaning. Let's find what's good. I am so grateful. Aaron, thank you for hopping on. I don't know how you have the time. Like, where are you right now? Are you guys in the office back, or is everybody still working remotely? It's such an insane time right now, and this is why when I say that this show is executive produced by God, like literally. Last month when I was reading, because I'm in a mastermind and we read different personal development books, and we were reading The War of Art, and I just heard very loud and clear, go do a show and inspire the people. Meanwhile, I am chock full. I don't need like another thing to do. But literally in 30 minutes, I created the show open. I got into the studio, and it started. And it's been such a blessing for me. It's been such a blessing for so many people. Oh, serendipity this morning. You popped up in my Twitter stream. Listen, God makes no mistakes. Absolutely no mistakes. It's so good to see your face. You've no idea. Thank you for coming on and taking the time, because I know he's a super busy CEO running. Oh, I wanted to ask you a question, Aaron. So what are you guys going to do with Super Bowl analysis? Like, it's so interesting to me that so many of the brands are not doing Super Bowl, which I think is so great. Like, what if they took last year's budget? I don't know what Budweiser did, but let's just say it was $2 million, and literally showcased what $2 million could do for the country right now in some very meaningful and some really connected ways, that the awareness and the engagement that they would get for doing that than just running a fab glitzy ad. It'd be interesting to measure that sort of that impact, that goodwill, that good feeling. If they said, this is what we spent for, Super Bowl last year, this is how we're going to use that same 2 million for the greater good of our country, because our country needs us right now. Wow. Okay, still remote. Okay, great. Yeah, no, it's challenging. I don't know if you know, Aaron, my dad died from COVID. I don't know if you saw that. So it's been super stressful for me, my family, and yeah, it's not been an easy road. So yeah, everybody definitely stay safe. So I'm getting ready to hop on over into the Women Helping Women Facebook group to go inspire and teach those women about all things branding. So let me just leave you guys with a couple of things. So number one, I did a video this morning that's going to be coming out soon. My editor is working on it, but it's about LinkedIn. And one of the reasons I want to focus in on LinkedIn is because so many people are either confused or afraid. They're just flummoxed. They don't know what to do with it. And the opportunity to build your brand in a meaningful way and connect with people who are about the business of doing business exists on LinkedIn. And so the LinkedIn Salon is going to be where you want to be, because here's the good and gooder news is that it's one day. So if you've been loitering the streets with a LinkedIn profile that just looks a hot mess, the LinkedIn Salon is going to be one day. It's an intensive from 8:30 to 5:30. We'll be on Zoom. You can do a break, but me and my team are going to do your profile for you. Like, hand us the keys. We're going to take care of it and hand the keys back to you, because there are too many people that are not getting opportunities. So I'll share this story with you. Maybe a month ago, I was contacted by a global events planning company and said, "Oh, we want to let you know you're on the short list of 250 people, top 100 influencers in marketing and advertising." And I still can't get past that. She went on to start talking. I'm like, how did you find me? Like, I was still so stuck on that. And she said, "Oh, we have a team of 35 people and they selection." And I said, "But where did you find?" She said, "On LinkedIn." I literally went and created the LinkedIn Salon right after that, because I said, this is just one opportunity of, I'm sure, hundreds that are out there. And please understand that if my brand looked a hot mess in the streets, they would not be reaching out to me. They would not be saying, "Oh, we want to let you know, we want to nominate you into the top 100. The inaugural event was in 2019 in Dubai. And this year is going to be at the MGM in Las Vegas. And they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and they do different conferences. My point of sharing all this with you is that they don't know me and I don't know them. But what spoke for me? My LinkedIn profile spoke on behalf of me. So if you don't have any picture in your back cover, that's wasted opportunity. If your profile picture is not a professional picture, it's you and a bunch of people, that's missed opportunity. If your summary is just a regurgitation of your job title, missed opportunity, because your summary is supposed to be a little bit more than that. What's your bio doing? Is it just like a lackluster collection of words? Missed opportunity. Are you doing anything with your featured? Are you publishing articles? Are you getting recommendations? Are you making sure that the skills that you want to be known for are at the top so people can endorse you? There's a whole collection of things that need to be done, that if you want somebody knocking on your door saying, "Oh, we want to include you in this influential list," your profile must be speaking volumes, and it must be speaking the right things. So if you're interested in that, just comment below right now, LinkedIn, just literally the name of the brand, just comment below LinkedIn, and you will get in your Facebook Messenger information about the salon. But I want to make sure that you understand what it is. It's one day, it's me doing it. It's not anybody else. And so we're going to keep these small because they have to be intimate, because I am, though superwoman, I am but one person. So I can't do 50 people at one time. So, but I will be scheduling those and creating the pods as we go. Like, I know one of my clients who works for a law firm, her entire law firm, because again, thinking about for attorneys, they need to have their LinkedIn profiles, properly amped up. So I'll be doing like a separate one for them. But yeah, I would love to help you with that, because I don't want you guys missing opportunities. Oh my gosh. See, Aaron, like Liquid Melody loves the idea. That would be everything if they took the Super Bowl budget and helped the community. The goodwill would be immeasurable. The long-lasting impact of, yes, you could have spent another, 2 million, 3 million on some different type of ad, some different type of, a brand awareness measure. But what if you put it in the community? I just think that would be so fabulous. Yes, this is huge. This is in my mastermind. This is what they focus on. It's honor your word to yourself. It's interesting, and I was equally guilty. So many times you go, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do this," and you put the stuff for yourself, you back burner that, like you do for your clients and you do for others. But for you, it's like, oh, well, I'll do that another time. But then your brain recognizes the pattern. Your brain recognizes you to be a liar because you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna write 5 pages in a new book, and you don't write 5 pages. You're like, oh, I'm gonna call so-and-so and do, a little session, and then you don't do it. And so your brain recognizes, oh, so you're not a woman of your word, you're a liar. And so now when you want to summon your brain to give you intellectually curious ideas and ways to kind of like express yourself, now it's not coming to play full out because it's like, she's a known liar, so we're not going to do too much with her, right? Yes. Yeah, no, I love that too. I just think that would be, just imagine, I mean, because you think about even the movement right now, right, with everything that's happening, one company does something and then they all follow suit. Like, who would dare be that bold to say, this is what we're going to do? Like, what is the greatest need right now? I mean, I was on Corona TV over Thanksgiving break, and each guest got a chance to talk about whatever it was on their mind. And I talked about gratitude, and I talked about privilege and the sense of entitlement. And I got so emotional with the idea that, in this country, Americans, we're driving and waiting in line, in a car line for 5 hours plus just to get a turkey and a side to feed their family for a Thanksgiving. And that there are others that would dare stand in line at a Whole Foods and go, oh, my prime rib was sliced too thick, or this, and we complain. And I remind everybody about the story of Anne Frank. If you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I can't stay in my house another day, this social distancing. Anne Frank hid in the basement of her home with her family for 2 years, hiding from Nazi Germany. 2 years in a basement with her family for the sheer reason to survive. And we can't stay inside in our air-conditioned 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 square foot home and read a book. Plenty of books you can read. Grab any of the books. Audible, audiobook. So I am just here for people to do the most good that you can with the time that we have. God says to redeem the time. How are you redeeming the time? We all equally get the same 24 hours. How are you making yours count? And how are you making it count for the greater good of the world, for humanity, for your people, for your community? That's where you get meaning. When you know that something that you've done. So Arvis is for example, I didn't know Arvis. Arvis is somewhere in, Arvis, tell me again, I think you said you're in Texas. I met Arvis on a Facebook Live, and she connected with me. She came into the Savvy Branders tribe. Now she's a client of mine. And if I hadn't shown up, we wouldn't have made the connection. So let me tell you about Arvis. So she'd been struggling. She's a life coach, struggling for the longest time with feeling the sense of good enough or worthy, like, are people going to listen to me? And so she was playing really small, just listening to other people's lives, but not willing to step out on her own page and do her own. And I said to her in one of our monthly Q&A sessions, I said, Arvis, I need you to remember this, that nobody's opinion of you ever cut you a check. So while you're playing small, while you're hiding, while your people can't find you, the people for whom you are here to serve, the people who need your word, your version of your inspiration to help them move through their life, you're playing small and nobody's giving you a check for playing small. So nobody's opinion of you ever cut you a check. Arvis sent me a message yesterday. She said, I just want to thank you. She did the live and over 50 something comments. How many people watching saying, this is such a great inspiration. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That brings joy and meaning to my life because wow, the impact. Think about that ripple effect. Now Arvis is that much more confident in her soul. Now she has proof. Now she has evidence that the work she's doing is good. It's important. It matters. It's necessary. Now she's going to show up even more confidently on her next live. Now she's going to speak more bold thoughts to her people, and the ripple effect continues. So find meaning in your life, find joy, find purpose, get a list. If you're in a job that is not serving you, what is it going to take for me to make that exit strategy happen and start working on that? Because if you're miserable, it impacts the world. And I want everybody to be in a place of joy. I want everybody to have the joie de vivre. right? That pura vida, that you're just emanating love and happiness, because it's possible. We were once there. It's possible. We just all have to lock arms together and decide that we're going to get there. It starts with finding meaning in your life. It starts by getting introspective and sitting down and saying, what matters to me? What matters to me, and how can I show up in the fullness of how God created me to show up? Yes, right? That text you sent me, that message you sent me was just everything for me yesterday. Thank you. Thank you for being willing and trusting when I say just jump and build your angel wings on the way down. That's exactly what she did. And look, magic. Okay, beautiful people. Thank you so much. Please, please, please share this video. You don't know who you can impact. And it costs you nothing just to hit the share button. We want to make sure that, again, like I said, we're the light that's piercing through the darkness in this world. I love you guys so much, more than you know. This is my passion project, this show. I love it. I love it. I love it long time. And I just, I'm hoping that you're finding sort of a foothold, a strong foothold for you to really show up and be the lighthouse for your people. I'm going to leave you with this analogy, one of my favorite. But what does a lighthouse do? A lighthouse stands, right, on a rock formation, and the light just goes. The light just goes. It's Monday at 2 and the light goes. It's Saturday at 5 and the light goes. It's raining and the light goes. It's Christmas and the light goes. It's New Year's Eve and the light goes. It is during COVID and the light goes. The light just goes. Be the lighthouse for your people, because you don't know, just like a ship that's coming out from sea, you don't know when your people are going to show up, but you have to be there consistently. If you believe in what it is that you do, if you know what you do is important and it matters, you have to show up for your people, be the lighthouse. The lighthouse doesn't say, oh, only 2 people showed up to my live, I'm not going to do it tomorrow. The lighthouse does its lighthouse thing, regardless of how many ships are out to sea, how many boats are out to sea. It's doing what it's called to do, what it's created to do. Love you guys so much. Be well, stay safe, wash your hands, socially distance, and please wear a mask. Take care, everybody. I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.